Hey YouTube, I hope everyone's doing well. I hope you've been practicing. I've been lucky enough to meet a bunch of you lately. I've been traveling in Queensland in Australia with my band Dad, and it's always a wonderful, pleasant surprise to meet someone, old or young or anything in between, that actually watches the channel, practices the guitar and has picked up a few tips. That's really exciting. I still am shocked every time it happens, even though it happens quite a bit, but I'm genuinely amazed that I'm sitting here talking into the iPhone and then somehow on the other side you are actually sitting at home playing guitar. That is so cool. That's the magic of YouTube, so thank you very much. I've really enjoyed meeting some of you lately. So today we're going to do something really basic. It's simply going to be two chords. When you play two chords one after the other, we call that a vamp in music, V-A-M-P, vamp. The beauty of a vamp is that you could just kind of go back and forth basically forever. It's used a lot in jazz music and other styles of music. So today we're going to do a very basic vamp. The chords are simply E minor and B7. Nothing particularly astonishing about those chords. They sound kind of cool together, kind of juicy, but what we're going to do is learn a variety of options of things we can do with those chords, with their scales, with their arpeggios and so on. I suppose it's unlimited what you can do with any two chords or even any one chord, so I will give you a number of basic suggestions here that I think are useful. Then I'll make a second video, Patreons only, that gets into a bit more detail. So if you like what you're seeing here and you want more on Patreon, we'll get a bit deeper into the topic. And all my other videos will give you advice that you could build on top of this. I treat the guitar lessons and the Spanish guitar very much as a flowing journey. So this lesson is not just a one set thing where you're going to learn one piece of music. We're going to talk about ideas and concepts. You can apply them to these two chords, you can apply them elsewhere. So let's go. That's probably the first little thing I want to teach you. It's just a really basic, something a bit new, something we haven't done on the channel yet. So I was taking flamenco guitar lessons from Guilherme from a YouTube channel called Flamenco Maps, which I highly recommend. Flamenco Maps is brilliant for actual flamenco. He had me doing what's called the golpe, where you're hitting the body of the guitar. He had me doing it with one finger, but for me it's natural to use two. And we're here on my YouTube channel, so we're going to do it my way. But I'm just letting you know, correct technique seems to be the one ring finger, tapping the body of the guitar. I use two, it's easier and it sounds stronger. So I tap the body. That's called the golpe in flamenco. I'm just going to call it a tap. And then that first finger is just going to flick. So this is a new strumming pattern we haven't done before on the channel. And I'm just going to change between those E minor and B7 chords. I'm assuming you know E minor and B7. If you don't, let's just really quickly get the camera here. So E minor is just second fret of the A string, second fret of the D string, play all 6 strings. And then B7, second fret of the A, first fret of the D, second fret of the A, open B, second fret of the high E. Real quick, there's the chords just in case you didn't know them. So we're starting with the tap and just that flick strum. So even that's, it's not particularly earth-shattering, that rhythm, but it's something that I've never taught or played here on the channel, so it's something very new. And of course you can make variations of a basic strumming rhythm. So you might go. That's pretty cool. There's no reason you might not do that. Or if you've followed me for any length of time, you know I love to strike the bridge of the guitar. So there's the first idea we can do with today's lesson, rhythmic variations. We've got our basic tap flick, and we can do all different kinds of things with that. The flamenco triplets, kind of rasguedo technique. I'm not going to delve into detail on every single technique. I'm just kind of giving you some ideas here, throwing some ideas, and you play around with them, see what works. Now, a concept I've taught before, because I use it a lot. An E minor chord, in my opinion, goes beautifully with an E string. So on the high E string, that was 0, 2, 3, 5, 7. And you can do 7, 8, 7. love that sound. That's the 7th fret, that B note is the 5th of A minor. And I love to go from the 5th to the flatted 6th, which is the next note. Find that sound. Going from the 7th to the 8th fret, or the perfect 5th to the flat 6th of a chord, gives a beautiful kind of drama and tension. A darkness, a melancholy, so it's definitely one of my favourite sounds. You'll notice I'm using what I call a partial scale. We've done this before on the channel. So a usual E minor scale might go 0, 2, 3, 5, 7, 8, and then you could either do 10, 12, or you could do 11, 12, which is a beautiful sound. That's the harmonic minor, that's 7, 8, 11, 12. Definitely a great sound. What I'm doing at the moment, I'm stopping at the 8th fret. Not because I don't love going all the way up, for example, to the 11th fret. But I find that minimizing how many notes you use actually makes it more interesting and more creative. And for example, let's say we do some nice jamming around here. By the way, tabs for the lesson go up on Patreon, by the way, now that I'm starting to fiddle around a bit. I don't tab every single note I play perfectly and fluently, but I definitely do tab out the basic ideas that will get you started. So what I've found in my experience is that by, in this case, restricting myself to not going any higher than the 7th and 8th fret, as the improvisation or the piece of music or the composition continues, and I want to take it up to the next step, I've left some ammunition in reserve because I've only gone as high as the 7th and the 8th frets. At the opportune moment when it's time to lift the music, I can go up. I use that a lot in my own playing, so there's just a little hint for you. That's why we're using partial scales, not because we don't like the other part of the scale, but we can save that in reserve for later. Now a B7, if I was to do a partial scale of B7, it would probably be on the B string. Remember, B7 chord, B string, E chord, E string, pretty obvious. But not a lot of people do it. It's obvious, but I don't know anyone that does it nearly as much as I do. So that would be like a kind of B major. On the B string will be 0, 2, 4, 5, 7, and we can use that 8 if we want to. Now that's cool, but to make it more Spanish, instead of going 0, 2, 4, which is a bit happy for my tastes, we're going to go 0, 1, 4. So 0, 1, 4, 5, 7, 8. That's that classic Phrygian dominant sound that we use so often in Spanish guitar, and I use so often here on the channel and in my playing in Calidad, because I think it sounds amazing. So now we've got two partial scale fragments. And we can cycle back and forth. Play the chord. I think you get the point there. A lot of fun to be had, and don't forget, before we do the kind of tapping sound, so we're taking really simple ingredients and we're combining them. A lot of the things I'm teaching you here I have taught elsewhere on the channel, but there's no way many of you, if any of you, have watched all the videos. And even if you have, a good refresher's good. Plus, I'm operating with a limited bag of tricks. It's not like I have infinite knowledge about guitar. Nobody does, of course, but I don't use that many different elements to make my guitar playing. I just use a few cool ones and practice them all. So yes, we are treading ground we may have trodden before, but we're treading in a different context and with different knowledge and experience. It's a great one to improvise if you've got either a loop pedal or you want to record on your computer, or ideally another guitarist, that's always best, or another musician. One can play the chords. In whatever strumming you feel, you should mix up your strummings anyway when you play rhythm guitar. You should be doing different stuff. A rhythm guitar can be just as expressive or interesting as any other. So if you can get a friend or someone to play the chords, or you can loop them, one can play the chords and one can improvise just with the E minor. E harmonic minor is pretty cool. And the B, B7. With that kind of B Phrygian dominant sound is very cool. I'll just quickly tell you those notes and then we might wrap up the video. So for E harmonic minor, it would be E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, D sharp, E. And for the B7, B Phrygian, B, C, D sharp, E, F sharp, G, A, B. And you can play those notes anywhere on the instrument, of course. Depending on your level of playing and knowledge, you'll know what to do with that. Thank you for watching. Come on Patreon if you want to go deeper. There's, an endless supply of kind of basic ideas we can do here. So that's enough for now. That's enough to get you started. Like with all my lessons, what I want you to do is pause YouTube, turn off the computer, whatever, grab the guitar. It's time to play now. It's time to practice, and it's time to fiddle around with this, and hopefully it leads you to some inspiration. It's perfectly valid if you start off with something from this lesson and you end up a million miles away doing something completely different musically, because at least we got you to pick up your guitar and be inspired and get started. So that's what it's all about. Thank you so much. Leave a comment. I know a lot of you guys read the comments, and I love to see you kind of talking to each other in the comments. So feel free to communicate in the comments how this is going for you, if you learned something, if you didn't, and how I can improve, or which parts of the lessons you like so I can give you better lessons. And let's keep this guitar community going, because guitar is awesome. If you want more, I'll see you on Patreon. And if you don't want more, I'll see you next time. Thank you so much.